Hi guys, welcome back to another week of handstand drills. We are already at week 3 and I've already seen so much progress, so I'm really excited to keep going and I hope you guys are joining along with me. So as always, before doing any of these drills, you want to make sure that your body is warmed up, so you just need to do some wrist circles, some light stretching. I like to do a few downward dogs, some cat-cow stretches, some forward folds, just basic yoga moves that get the body warm and more limber. Also, when doing handstand work, it's really important to make sure that the wrists specifically are super warm, just so that you can avoid injury or strain when you're putting more weight on them than you normally would. So I haven't talked about this in any of my previous videos, but I find a lot of these drills from other creators on YouTube that are actually yoga instructors, and I've also learned a lot about handstand practices from my local yoga studio, so that's the majority of where my foundation is coming from when building this training plan. So roll out your mat with me and let's get started with exercise 1. So this is going to be a variation of an exercise I've already shown, which is the plank press, but this time I'm adding a knee drive to get more core work into it. And this is really going to help with that pushing out of your shoulders and really using your core to draw your entire body into one long line. Most people think the biggest strength aspect of a handstand is the arm strength, which is definitely a huge part of it, but it's also going to be your core strength and your ability to keep yourself balanced when you're up in the air. Also watching your alignment here, just making sure that the wrists are aligned with the shoulders and that the hips are aligned with the spine to make sure that you aren't putting any pressure on your lower back. And don't forget to take breaks in between if you need it. Here's a lovely clip of Angelina. She was really zen this morning and wanted to relax with me in between. So once you're ready, we're going to head into exercise 2, which we've previously been doing a lot of dolphin poses, but now we're kind of graduating to downward dog push-ups. So this is going to focus on the same strength of your shoulders, but it's going to have a little bit more weight to it. And to avoid any elbow pain or anything like that, you want to make sure you're driving the elbows out at a 45-degree angle from your wrists. I also added a dolphin variation in here too if you'd prefer to do that instead of the downward dog push-ups. It'll just be a little bit lighter weight. And then we're going to head into exercise 3, which is a challenge added on top of our regular legs up the wall exercise. So just to get my balance, I did a few of leg holds on the wall just to warm up a little bit more. And then I decided to add a leg lift. So this is kind of going to be what I consider like 3/4 of a handstand. So it's going to really test your balance and help you maybe see where you're at strength-wise and in your training plan. Also, don't forget to switch up the legs so you're getting even balance practice on both sides. So here I did the left leg a lot and then I switched over to the right leg. I think this is the exercise that I've seen the most improvement on so far. If you go back to my first video, you can see that I had so much trouble even getting up onto the wall. So this was awesome to see this improvement in my practice today. And then the last exercise of week 3 is going to be some Pilates core work. Again, just focusing on that balance aspect as we get closer to being in a handstand. So these are some pikes. If you guys have ever done any sort of Pilates, you might know this move. But you're going to start out in a plank and you're going to drive your hips up as far as they can go while squeezing in your core, and you're really going to focus on using your core to pull your legs up. So this is also in addition going to strengthen your shoulder muscles as well, which is great. So this is an awesome dual practice to do for double strength. And then as just an additional variation, you can do this sort of bear pose into plank. This is a great finisher to do just to make sure your core is burnt out and ready for your next practice. And to get the most out of the exercise, just try to keep your hips where they are and drive your knees directly into your chest. That was the end of our week 3 practice. Thanks so much for following along. We're getting stronger together. Next week will be a full month into the practice. I can't wait to see you then. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.